Hi, my name is Hannah Cordes, and the organizational issue that I chose to cover is work-life balance. Work-life balance is defined as a state of equilibrium in which the demands of both a person's job and personal life are equal. Another factor to take into account is work and family culture, which is the extent to which an organization's culture acknowledges and respects the family's responsibilities and obligations of its employees and encourages management and employees to work together to meet their personal and work needs. Some interesting information that I found from my literature review is that 7 out of 10 American workers struggle to find balance. So this can be that they do not have enough time for their children, they do not have enough time for their friends, or they feel like they are working too much. I also found that Hay Research found flexible working arrangements are important and valuable in the workplace. So this could be a mother struggling and being able to work at home and take care of her children and being able to work and not having to take the time to go to and from work. This can also mean that overtime is not necessarily pushed on employees. Also, I found that adequate tools and resources and investing in training are needed and are also lacking in the workplace. I have experienced this. I have not had training at my newest job, which they just threw me on the front line and expected me to know what I was doing. And this has caused me to feel like I do not have a good work-life balance. Also, communication is key. If you do not have proper communication with your employees and your bosses, then you could end up staying late when you didn't need to and feel like you are one of the people that have an issue with work-life balance. Something that I also found that was interesting was HR consideration, which is 4 steps that you should consider, which are: does the company culture truly support work-life benefits? Does the management philosophy, starting with senior management, sincerely endorse work-life benefits? Do managers and supervisors understand the impact of work-life balance has on their workforce? And also, are employees aware of and do they understand the company's work-life programs? Which brings me to my interview because this relates back to this. I interviewed Kent Cordes, which is my father, from Hendrickson International in Kendallville, Indiana. He has been part of the company for 3 years, and he had started in September of 2013. He is an operation production supervisor, and he has struggled with work-life balance his entire life. He previously worked for Ray Magnet Wire, which was a company in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and he was there for 25 years. So, putting perspective on the issues, he is working almost 2 hours unpaid, so he drives 45 minutes to work, and he gets there early and is not paid for this. He has to get everything set up for production. He also stays an hour later and goes through meetings which he is also not paid for. He is also working more than he was previously scheduled, so he was not scheduled to work any weekends, which he has been required or coerced into working a lot of weekends, over half weekends. Also, he believes that HR is not involved enough and that they basically live their own lives and do not understand what supervision and all of the workers below them go through because they work a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday shift that they do not fully understand what they have to go through. And they are not invested enough in family life. Even though he had problems at Ray Magnet Wire, they had a lot more of family events, parties, and just benefits for the family, whereas Hendrickson is not as involved with family life. So the solutions that we had come up with were only working the hours scheduled, and if you can't get all the work done in the scheduled hours, then maybe you should work extra hours, but Usually the work is being done in the hours scheduled, and he is not needed to stay there an extra hour or two. Also, enabling balance, which we decided to come up with meetings with HR, which could be monthly or weekly, and just so that they're on the same page with supervision and how they have to go through their workday, and also how their life schedules work and what they have to go through. Also, just putting more emphasis on work-family culture, so time off for family events. I know that he previously was not able to go to a lot of my events, and he would have really liked to do that. And also, his other children, he would have liked to have been there more and not have to work, which he has other events going on previously and currently that he would like days off for. And I think if management knew his schedule better and was more understanding and more aware of these issues, then maybe that they would let them have these days off or be more lenient with these days. So also, he is feeling coerced to work weekends, which is not right. And I think this is another issue that HR could possibly address and hopefully fix, because this is not the right way to handle things, and he was not scheduled to work weekends in the first place. So, mainly, HR should have a way bigger role in his workplace, and that's something that I found in the literature review that people are having problems with. So, when you're entering the workforce, you should definitely keep in mind the need to maintain relationships with friends and family. Kent has struggled with this his entire life, and he has missed many events, even Thanksgiving, Christmas. He was forced to work many holidays. He has also missed a lot of sporting events, family sporting events, graduations, anything, friend and family related, he has had to miss. Also, don't work so much that you don't have time to relax outside of work. If you find yourself working 12-hour shifts, even 16-hour shifts, you are not going to have the time to recuperate from work and fully relax, and you will not go into your workday feeling that you have relaxed and you have that time. Also, determine if the hours are worth the lack of balance. Some people are workaholics and they enjoy this unbalancing of work-life family balance. They are more interested in their jobs, and that's okay, but most people are forced to work extra, and it is not healthy for them. Which also brings me to keep your health in mind. This is something that Kent has also struggled with in the past. He had gotten very, very sick from working extra hours and not having enough sleep, which is something that was brought up in his interview also, was the lack of sleep and how that affects him in his workplace. And I'm sure that your employers want a well-rested person operating their business instead of someone that is sleepy and groggy, and they should be more aware of that also, that also affects the way that you work. And if you have more sleep, then you have a better understanding of what you're doing, and that you will be able to do a better job. So with all of this in mind, I think that it's very important entering the workforce that you just remember to have a good work-life balance and how important that really is to have. Because if you don't have this, it could end up ruining a lot of relationships, even marriages, and you don't want that to happen. And you are here also to enjoy your life outside of work. So today I went over the literature review. I went over my interview with Kent Cordes and also issues in the workplace.